Hi everyone, Alchemist here. Did you know that in ancient times, all the way back to ancient Egypt, Mesopotamia, Assyria, the times of King Solomon, magic was considered as a science. It was so prominent and widely practiced by a lot of people on planet Earth. But why did magic die? What happened to it? Why we don't see it anymore? Where did this practice go? Why most people make fun of it and think that it's a hoax? Well, that has to do mainly with religion. Magic practices, esoteric sciences, witchcraft, alchemy was the enemy of religion. Not to mention that many people who considered themselves religious, either Christian or Muslims or Jewish, still practiced magic and still did spells and rituals. They would hire a practitioner either for healing or casting a spell for whatever reason, be it love, success, prosperity, including hexing as well and cursing others. Ancient manuscripts and ancient tablets that were left by ancient civilizations such as Egypt and Greece and Sumeria indicates the use of magic in daily life. It was a very common practice and people believed in the gifted ones and they would go to them for healing, for protection, for exorcism, and so on and so forth. But as religion was becoming an organized dogma, more of a system of control throughout the Middle Ages, as it was becoming such, magic started to disappear because it was the competition. Therefore, religion around the world tried to erase any esoteric practices. That's why we have the witch hunts, which was a common practice by the inquisitors, and the amount of atrocious things they did to anyone who practiced magic, alchemy, even philosophy, even science sometimes. As long as you say something that's against the word of God, you would be burned at the stake, or you would be killed, or you would be tortured by the inquisitors until you die, literally. And that's how people started to shy away from these practices, from magic, because it has become taboo, it has become scary to do it. Fear was introduced in the lives of the people who were magicians. You can clearly see this practice starting to disappear around the 17th, 18th century, all the way throughout the 19th century, where it has become just a bunch of weird hoax or scam that only uneducated people do or practice. Alchemists stopped practicing alchemy and the world started calling it chemistry, and all of the spiritual esoteric aspects of alchemy disappeared and only the scientific aspects remained. Witchcraft completely disappeared. Not only that, but nowadays with the evolution of technology and sciences, the practice of magic or anything esoteric in nature has become even hard to imagine because of the ridicule that it gets from human beings. So you, the watchers, and the practitioners, such as you, such as myself, are the very few ones. We're the niche, we're the rare ones. I am, however, very glad to see people nowadays coming out labeling themselves as witches and practicing witchcraft and trying to embrace this side of them, trying to awaken their powers. But even though with that, people are still scared, they're still afraid to be labeled crazy, to be labeled not normal. People label themselves as white witches because they're scared that dark magic is something harmful. Doing rituals or doing spells or using sigils or invoking spirits or demons or angels, this is a field that has nothing to do with bad or good. It's all one thing. So you either do it or you don't. There's nothing such as I'm a good witch and I'm a bad witch, or I'm a good magician or I'm a bad magician. If you're a mage, you're a mage. That's it. If you're an alchemist, you're an alchemist. It all depends on what are you going to use this power for? These gifts that you were given, what are you going to use them for? It's like science. It's exactly like science and technology. Some people choose to use it for the good and some people choose to use it for the bad. There's nothing such as white technology or black technology. That's on one hand. On the other hand, you have people saying that technology is magic. It is in a way. If you can figure out how to create advanced technologies, it will make things seem as magic. But the real magic that mages and witches and gifted people do or create is very different, because it involves the world of the unseen. It involves the underworld, invoking spirits and demons. It could be a technology, but I'm pretty certain that humans will never understand this kind of technology. It will take them hundreds, if not thousands of years to figure out how to make of it a technology, or how to make it work with technology. Because the technology we have nowadays is so far from the spiritual realm. The closest thing we have to this field being revived is spirituality, which is basically a set of concepts and teachings adopted from the Eastern tradition, from Hinduism, mainly from Hinduism and Buddhism. But unfortunately, I see that spirituality has become a religion itself, because you have a lot of people believing anything spiritual, anything that's written in a spiritual blog or article or book, without questioning why, without questioning the nature of it, or why it's there, or who said it, or who wrote it. But here's the thing. These spirits, these entities, these demons that everyone talks about, that any ancient book, if you take even books from the 15th century, from the 14th century, that a lot of Europeans wrote, that many Arabic people in the 8th century wrote, when alchemy was flourishing in the Arab Muslim world. You have these books that talk about spirits, that talk about demons, even angels. You have even drawings of these entities. If a lot of people in ancient times have claimed to see and encounter these demons physically and numerously as well, it wasn't like nowadays where it's just once in a while you encounter a spirit or a demon. I'm talking about people thousands of years ago claiming that they have physically seen and encountered many of these demons, chimeras, kind of half human, half creatures, mermaids, centaurs, dragons, fairies, and so on and so forth. All of these creatures that different cultures label them differently all around the world. Werewolves, the Sasquatch, many of these creatures that have coexisted with humans, where are they? Why we don't see them anymore? Why did they disappear? Physically speaking, because these entities, and many of them are the demons we talk about, they have supernatural powers. They have powers beyond what humans can understand or imagine. So they can shapeshift, they can disappear, they can appear out of nowhere, they can appear as spirits if they want to, they can appear as animals if they want to. And each demons have specific powers attached to them. But where did they go? Why don't they show themselves to humans anymore? Well, I have a theory. Many religions have mentioned the existence of these creatures, the fallen angels, the giants, the Nephilim. They have many names all around the world. And that the gods came from the sky and they mated with female humans and had these half human, half gods with them. I think they have coexisted with humans for thousands of years, as in you would go outside in the street and you would see them and you would encounter them every single day. But then something happened, which is the flood. The flood that people talk about all around the world, the flood of Noah, the flood of Atlantis. Even science, even geologists have proved that this flood happened. In the Sphinx, there's cracks that prove that the Sphinx was actually underneath water for a long period of time. That's why a lot of archaeologists and scientists believe that the Sphinx was more than 10,000 years old, because the flood happened exactly around 11 to 12,000 years ago. This flood, it seems like after it happened, the only creatures that remained were humans. It seems like these other creatures that many religious books talk about, many ancient civilizations talk about. It seems that they disappeared and only humans have remained. But here's my theory. I believe that they didn't completely disappear. I think they chose to hide. Because they have superpowers, because they can shapeshift. I think they chose to hide. Just think about it for a second. A demon who can shapeshift, who can teleport, who can go through walls. Don't you think they can appear as a human being if they want to? And where is the best place to hide? What's the best place to hide? Remember this, the best place to hide is always in plain sight. It's always in plain sight. So my theory is that after the flood, the ones who remained, the demons, the entities, the ones who remained, decided to hide. Because I do believe that they had this huge feud with humans. There was kind of this hate, this war going on. Because all of these ancient texts, every time I check them, it's all about banishing demons. It's all about burning demons. It's all about casting away demons. It is true that there are bad entities out there, but it doesn't mean that all of them are bad. But every time I check ancient history, it just seems like humans hated these entities. They hated them, and their sole purpose was to get rid of them, one way or another. So they were chasing them, they were trying to kill them, they were trying to banish them and exorcise them and so on and so forth. And I think after the flood, these demons were tired of this thing and they decided to become smarter by hiding in plain sight. Because after all, if they show themselves as human beings, then everyone will think that they're just humans. And we can still see that until this day and age. What people call the elite. And I'm sure you can find tons of information about this subject on the internet, online, on YouTube, on Google. A lot of conspiracy theories about the Freemasons, the Illuminati, the people in power, that they shapeshift, that they are the demons, that they are the snake people. So there's thousands of conspiracy theories. But what if these people in power are the demons that once coexisted with humans and they chose to shapeshift and hide in plain sight? Let's think about it. If you have superpowers, the amount of magic you can do, the amount of control you can do will be unimaginable. If you can create from thin air, then you see where I'm getting here? Can you connect the dots? So what if the people in power are connected to these entities or demons, if you will, from these ancient civilizations? It is also labeled in most religious texts that the gods who created humans and apparently created these demons as well, they created both, preferred humans. If you go literally in any religious text or any historical book, ancient history, I'm talking about ancient history, you will find out for some reason that the gods preferred humans. And I think it made these demons furious because the demons were like, we are more powerful. You can clearly see that these humans are so weak, yet you prefer them to us? Why? I think my theory here, again, it's just a theory. These demons, these entities who are hiding in plain sight are having their revenge. This is vengeance. They're controlling the world. They're at the top. They're the elite. They're hiding in plain sight. They have an agenda. And this agenda is a vengeance for what the humans did to them thousands of years ago. Now, this also coincides with the gods, the advanced beings, leaving after the flood. So basically, after the flood happens, the gods, out of the blue, they just disappeared. Apparently, they were not on Earth anymore because they used to live on Earth. So they disappeared, they left Earth, and then you're left with these humans and these demons. So I feel like the demons are having their revenge in a way, their vengeance. They're enjoying being at the top and the humans without power being at the bottom. I know this is a very sensitive subject, but this is just a theory because I come across so many books and so many articles and so many texts that mentions, yes, I met the demon in my daily life and we used to communicate, or like there's just so many. There's a book that I'm gonna leave the title of this book here. It's a book by an Arab author, and it depicts how these demons or jinns, because the Arabs would call them jinns, how they looked like. There was even a werewolf Christian priest. I'm gonna leave the name here, right here, because I do not remember the name. I don't wanna give you something that doesn't make sense. But the story is that he was a werewolf and the priest found him and he turned him into a Christian. Believe it or not, an upright walking dog/wolf figure who learned about Christianity and became a priest, and this is a painting of him. We have also Columbus claiming that he has met mermaids in his trips. We have this other explorer and traveler named Ibn Battuta, who claims that he has met werewolves. He has met a whole village of werewolves during his travels. And in his books, he describes how they looked like and how they spoke like dogs, and they were walking upright, and they were huge and tall and very strong. We have these explorers describing these creatures. So where are these creatures? Where are they nowadays? You can literally think about any person in power, presidents, ministers, singers, actors, politicians, people in control in different countries around the world. I'm not saying that they are. This is just a theory. I myself, I'm not sure, because I'm not blindly believing that that's what it is. I'm just thinking maybe that's what it is. I myself have to discover that. I have to meet one of them in person to see what's really going on. But are these demons the same demons we invoke for our rituals? Are they the same demons people choose to work with? They are and they are not. I think the League of Demons from the Lesser Key of Solomon, the demons that everyone knows, including, Beelzebul and Baal and Moloch and Baphomet, Lucifer, I'm adding Lucifer and Lilith here as well, and so on and so forth. The common ones that people work with, I believe, existed in ancient times. Their spirit still exists, and you can invoke their spirit to help you. And if you want to work with them, that's totally fine. But the demons I'm talking about who are remaining on earth, physically, I think they're different. They are also a kind or a type of demon, but I think they're different. They're different from, per se, the demons that built the Temple of Solomon. So keep doing your invocations. It's totally fine. Use their help. You can work with them if you want. But I just wanted to share with you this information, and I want to know, what do you think? What do you think about magic? The disappearance of magic. Why did magic die? Why do people ridicule it? Why do people think it's a hoax? What about demons? Do you think these demons are hiding in plain sight? Do you think they are the elite of the world that are controlling the world because of the vengeance? Because it's basically their revenge on human beings for what human beings did to them in the past. What do you think? What is your theory? So thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.